Questions on the homework? Questions on the homework assignments? Because we've had 3 so far, 2, 1, 2, 2, and 2, 3, 1.
Could we do 33?
33? 33. They give us the equation y equals 4x squared plus 24x minus 7. So this is standard form. Now 33 is asking us to find the coordinate of the vertex. Or essentially he's finding the coordinate of the vertex. Now the coordinate of the vertex, our x value of the vertex, is given to us by the equation what? Negative b over 2a. Now the value of b in our case is 24. The value of a is 4. The top negative 24 is just going to be negative 24. The denominator, 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 24 divided by 8 is negative 3. So the x value of the vertex is negative 3. So, yes, but what did they do wrong? Right, because our formula is negative b over 2a. They forgot the... They forgot the negative. They forgot the negative. So we need both parts. We need the correction of the error, or saying what they got wrong, and the correct answer. So the correct answer is negative 3. They forgot the negative in the formula. They forgot the negative. That's what I'm looking for. Questions on this here? We good? Not enough room? Yep. All right. Yep. All right. Focus and directrix. So we previously learned about the collapse, the parabola, so on and so forth. The focus is in the interior. The vertex is the point there. Directrix is a line parallel to it. We've talked about this already. Now, these here, standard form of equation parabola, we have this. But this, the only difference between this and what we've done the rest of this week is that the vertex is at the origin. Our vertex is the point 0, 0, which means our values of h and k are both 0. That means nothing about what we're doing today is any different from what we've been doing this week. It's just that h and k are both 0. That's the only difference. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over is finding the focus, directrix, and axis of symmetry from the given equation. Now, we could find the vertex also. But let's go through this here just like we did yesterday. X is equal to negative 1/4 y squared. The general form for this is x is equal to a times y minus k squared plus h. And what we started off with yesterday was we found a, h, and k. Now a, in our case, is what? Negative 1/4. And we can use that to find p. What's the value of h? 0. There's nothing there. It's 0. K is also 0. It didn't ask for the vertex, but our vertex in the general form is h comma k. So it would be 0 comma 0. Focus. So the focus for x equals plus p comma k. Well, k is 0. H plus p, we do need to solve for. Well, h is 0 plus, have we found p yet?
1/4
So P would be 1 over 4 times negative 1/4. We can put this in a calculator. 1 over 4 times negative 1/4 is negative 1. So P is, we did. 0 plus negative 1 is, so the focus is negative 1 comma 0. Directrix or axis symmetry, which one do you want to do next? Directrix. The general form x is equal to h minus p. Or h minus p would be 0 minus negative 1. Well, the negative make a plus, giving us positive 1. So the directrix x is equal to positive 1, or 1. Axis of symmetry. Y is equal to questions on this here. So this here is, for all case and purposes, is the exact same thing we did yesterday, but h and k are all 0, so we just get a whole bunch of zeros that show up. Vertex is 0, 0, focus is negative 1, 0, directrix is x equals 1, axis symmetry y equals 0. And that's really how we got most of this here. Focus 0 comma p. Because our h plus p is really 0 plus p, giving us just p. Here, k minus p. 0 minus p, which is just negative p. So this here, all the forms are just with h and k already plugged in as 0. We're ready to look at another one. All right, let's look at the next one. Identify the focus, directrix, and axis of symmetry. Well, y equals 0.5x squared. If we stay with the general form that we used yesterday, and we've been using all week, this here would be y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. All right, guys. A, h, k. Well, our a value in this case would be 0.5. 0.5. H is, well, 0. K is 0, because we don't have a set of parentheses and nothing added to it, so h and k have to be 0. There's not parentheses with something being added to x. In this case, h is 0. Nothing added to the end, so k is 0. Let's go on and find p. 1 over 4 times. Okay. 1 over 4 times 0.5. In the calculator, we can do 1 over 4 times 0.5 and get 0.5. 0.5 or 1/2. Either one. Both will work. We didn't ask for it, but we can go on and list the vertex. Vertex is still h comma k, which would be 0, 0. So 0.5. So with x equals, it is h plus p comma k. But since we're looking at y equals, it's h comma k plus p. would be the other one. So h would be 0. Our k plus p would be 0 plus 0.5, which is just 0.5. Directrix. We have y equals, would be k minus p. So 0 minus 0.5, which is negative 0.5. Axis of symmetry would be x equals h, which is just x equals 0. Questions on this here? I wouldn't need anything off this floor. The number of times, because if the boys' bathroom does flood, it does come under that wall. And it's done it on a number of occasions.
He's so serious about it.
Deal. Questions on this here? Identify the focus directrix and axis of symmetry for this here. Well, what's h and k? So to find p, we do 1 over 4 times negative 1/2. So p is negative 1/2. Didn't ask for vertex, but what is the vertex, guys? 0, 0. Focus. Now for here, we're back to x equals, which is our comma k. So k is 0. H plus p would be 0 plus. All right, guys. Let's focus back up here. Negative 1/2, comma 0 is the focus. Directrix. X equals h minus p. Well, our h is 0. 0 minus negative 1/2, or 0 plus 1/2, which is positive 1/2. Axis of symmetry. Y is equal to k, which is just 0. Yeah. Because again, we could treat these as a separate, different entity of what we've done this week. Or we can just treat them the same and just be plugging in h and k as 0. It is a little repetitive, but it works, no matter what h and k are. Yeah. Because it used to be when I first started teaching this, or when I first did this unit, I did this one first and then the other one second. But I think it's easier to go start with away from the origin and move back to it. Do we need to see another example of finding the focus, directrix, vertex, or axis of symmetry? Do we feel good with this here? Okay. All right. Now we're also going to write the equation. Now they told us the vertex here is 0, 0. Now the directrix y equals 3. Because our flat line going left to right is y equals, the line going up and down is x equals. Because in the general form, this would be y equals k minus p, yes? So k minus p would be 3, because we need to find p. K is 0. Is our h comma k. 0 minus p is 3. Well, 0 minus p is just, well, negative p is equal to 3. We can divide both sides by negative 1, telling us p is negative 3. H is 0, k is 0. What is our general form for this here? A times x minus h squared plus k. And we'll edit this equation here in a second. As h and k are both 0, yes? So we have x minus 0 squared plus 0.
Is the H we agree?
So we still need to find a. A is still equal to 1 over 4 p. So 1 over 4 times negative 3. And if we do this in the calculator, calculate it out, it's negative 1/12. And we can replace a with it. So questions on how we got here? Because our x minus 0 squared is the same as just having x in the parentheses squared. Well, that's just x squared. We don't need the plus 0, so really we're just left with this. Questions on this here? You're good? Yeah. I know we're going pretty quick. Are we still understanding this? Because I feel like once we get how to find the equation and get the information from it away from the origin, that 0, 0, it makes finding that information when the origin is 0, 0 seem a lot easier to do because so much of it just becomes 0 and goes away. But we still treat it the exact same as if h and k had a value other than 0. Still works. We're ready for the next one. So they told us the directrix this time, y is equal to negative 0.25. Well, they gave us h and k already. 0 and 0. They told us y is equal to negative 0.25. Well, k minus p. So it tells us that, but it also tells us that the equation is our y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So let's find p, then we can find a, and then we can find our equation. So k minus p is equal to negative 2.5. Which is really just telling us that 0 minus p is equal to negative 2.5. Or we could have just said what? Negative p equals negative 2.5. Well, we don't really care about negative p. I want to find the value of what? P. Well, if negative p is equal to negative 2.5, positive p should equal what? 2.5. If I switch the sign on one side, I have to switch it on the other. Bless you. Or we can just divide both sides by negative 1. Get p is 2.5. One over 4 times 2.5. I have a feeling it might be a fraction. Probably not. Times 2.5 is 0.1 or 1/10. Which one do y'all want to use? 1/10. Questions on how we found AHK. So we can plug them in. So we have 1/10 times x minus 0 squared plus 0. Well, really that's just 1/10 x squared. If you do leave it as 1/10 parentheses x minus 0 squared plus 0, I won't count it wrong because it's not wrong. It's just not, we normally simplify down. Questions on this here? Yeah, it is. Yes. And that's also, if you notice in the general form, that's really what it is, just that a value, because everything else cancels out. So here, direct x is equal to h minus p. H minus p is equal to negative 3.
So negative p equals negative 3.
Because
So then it just cancel each other out, and then it'd be positive p
positive 3. Yeah, because even though it didn't directly tell us, it did tell us that the vertex was 0, 0. It just told us in the instructions. A is equal to 1 over 4 p. Y minus k, y minus 0 squared just gives us y squared plus 0. Yes. No. P could be negative.
It's like if we had left it with the negative p plus, I guess, negative.
That wouldn't quite be right because we still need to find positive p. We need to find p's value. Now, the value for p can be negative, but we don't want to find negative p. And it'll make sense here in a second. Questions on this one here? So they told us the vertex is 0, 0. Focus, negative 2, 0. Well, the one that changed was the focus. So really we're looking at h plus p, comma, k, which is our x equals equation. A times y minus k squared plus h. And from the general form, h plus p is negative 2. Questions on this here?
0 should be p equals p2.
So we can have a negative value of p, as we do here. A, 1 over 4 times negative 2. So A is negative 1/8.
So x equals negative 1 over 8 x squared.
Almost. Y squared. Questions on this here? Yeah. We got one left. So this would match up with our what? Y equals h comma k plus p. So k plus p is 3/2. So really p is what? 3/2. A is equal to 1 over 4p, 1 over 4 times 3/2. I think it's 1/6, but let's make sure. Y equals 1/6, since h is 0, x squared plus 0.
That's all the
Yep. We good with this here. And that's all for 2, 3.